For decades, one woman has broken every rule in the fashion book, turning a supposed flaw into a signature feature, demanding to be paid what she's truly worth, and proving that age is no barrier to style. Meet Lauren Hutton, the supermodel who revolutionized modeling and became a timeless fashion icon. Welcome to the Fashion Memoir, where timeless style meets iconic moments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we honor fashion, one icon at a time. Also, thank you to a subscriber for suggesting Lauren Hutton. It has been really interesting learning more about her. Look 1. The rise of a fashion rebel. Lauren Hutton's journey began humbly in the 1960s, when she moved from the American South to New York with big dreams. She quickly made waves in the modeling world. By 1966, Hutton landed her first Vogue cover, shot by the legendary Richard Avedon, and there was no looking back. Over the years, she appeared on dozens of Vogue covers, 40+ worldwide, including a record 26 covers of American Vogue, a feat that cemented her status as one of fashion's most in-demand faces. Some even dub her the first real supermodel, and it's easy to see why. Hutton personified the fresh, all-American beauty ideal of her era, yet she did it her own way. Crucially, Lauren Hutton turned what others called an imperfection into her trademark. In her early career, modeling agencies and editors were unsure about her signature gap-toothed smile. She was even advised to hide the gap between her teeth, and initially she tried filling it with wax for castings. But Hutton soon rejected that notion. Instead, she embraced her gap proudly, making it an integral part of her look. By daring to defy the narrow beauty standards of the time, she showed that individuality could be just as breathtaking as any airbrushed ideal. Her confident grin became iconic, and fans loved her for it. Lauren Hutton's early rise was not just about pretty photos in magazines, it was about challenging conventions. At barely 5'7", she was shorter than many models and far from a cookie-cutter mold, yet her determination and charisma shone through. In an industry that often tried to box women in, Hutton was a rule-breaker from the start. She brought personality, athleticism, and wit to her shoots, standing out with a free-spirited energy that photographers and designers couldn't get enough of. By the end of the 1960s, Lauren Hutton wasn't simply another model, she was a rising fashion rebel, blazing a trail that others would soon follow. Look 2. Breaking the mold, the million-dollar model. As the 70s unfolded, Lauren Hutton's star power only grew. But it wasn't just her face that was valuable. She knew her worth, and she proved it to the world. In 1973, at the peak of her modeling career, Hutton did something revolutionary. She negotiated an exclusive contract with Revlon to become the face of the brand's new cosmetic line. The deal was reported to be worth an unprecedented sum, often touted as the industry's first million-dollar modeling contract. To understand how radical this was, remember that at the time, models were typically paid by the hour, treated as interchangeable faces rather than as stars. Hutton's insistence on a contract fundamentally changed the business. In her own words, within weeks no girl was working by the hour anymore. Top models started getting daily rates and long-term contracts, a practice that has since become standard. Thanks to Hutton, modeling became a viable, lucrative profession at the highest levels, not just a fleeting gig. The supermodels of the 80s and 90s, earning superstar paydays for perfumes and fashion campaigns, owe a debt of gratitude to Lauren's trailblazing move. She boldly opened the door for models to be respected and compensated like the creative talents they are. This bold business move was about more than money, it was about respect and empowerment. In an era when women across industries were pushing for equality, Hutton's demand to be paid what she deserved was a feminist statement within the fashion world. She set a precedent that a woman's image had immense market value and that the woman herself deserved a fair share. Agencies and brands took note. After Hutton's deal, other leading models soon secured lucrative cosmetic contracts of their own. The era of the model as muse evolved into the era of the model as business power. Lauren Hutton effectively turned modeling into a profession where women could have agency and negotiate on their terms. Hutton's contract with Revlon lasted for about a decade, a tenure unheard of for a beauty model at that time. It not only made headlines, it also delivered results, reportedly boosting the brand's sales and proving that a model's name could sell as much as a celebrity's. Lauren became known as the $1 million model, a nickname that underscored her groundbreaking feat. But she was never content to just cash checks. She was changing the game. By the mid-1970s, Halston, the famous designer, was calling Lauren Hutton the greatest mannequin in history, and it wasn't just flattery. She had become a muse to fashion's elite, from photographers like Avedon and Irving Penn to designers like Halston. Everyone wanted to capture Hutton's magic. Lauren brought life to the clothes she wore and authenticity to the brands she represented. In this period, she didn't just break the mold, she completely reinvented it. Hutton had proven that a model could be a power player in the fashion industry, commanding both creative influence and financial clout. Look 3. From style muse to movie star. Even as Lauren Hutton was dominating magazine covers and advertising campaigns, she was never just a model, she was a bona fide style icon and soon-to-be movie star. By the late 1970s, Hutton's fame extended beyond the pages of Vogue. She had a natural chic that caught the attention of Hollywood, and she became one of the first supermodels to successfully cross over into acting. At a time when models were rarely taken seriously as actresses, Lauren Hutton broke that barrier too. She landed roles in major films, most famously starring opposite Richard Gere in the stylish 1980 film American Gigolo, and earlier alongside James Caan in The Gambler. These performances proved that Hutton's on-screen charisma was as compelling as her camera presence in fashion. Suddenly, a top model could also be a Hollywood actress, opening yet another path for future generations. Imagine the careers of models turned actresses that followed. They all owe a nod to Hutton's early example. But Hutton's cultural impact in this era wasn't only on screen, it was in the very way she lived and dressed. She became a muse not just for filmmakers, but for designers and photographers who shaped the look of the times. Close friends with the likes of Halston and Andy Warhol, she moved in the chic circles of New York's art and fashion scene. Designers adored her ability to make high fashion look effortless. Lauren could glide down a red carpet in a flowing Grecian Halston gown one night, then show up the next day in jeans, a white shirt, and her gap-toothed grin, and look equally stunning in both. She embodied an effortless American style that felt fresh and liberating. In fact, her wardrobe became the stuff of fashion legend. Hutton was known for pairing masculine pieces with feminine flair, like wearing a tailored Armani suit topped with a Yankees baseball cap, or matching glamorous dresses with casual sneakers. This was decades before high-low style was a common concept. Lauren's confident mix of elegance and ease showed women that fashion could be playful and personal rather than stuffy or prescribed. During this time, Hutton was frequently photographed off-duty in her signature laid-back looks, khaki trousers, crisp blazers, minimal makeup, exuding a kind of approachable glamour that fans found inspiring. She became the ultimate style muse. Magazines ran features on how to capture Lauren Hutton's look, and designers drew inspiration from her unstudied vibe. Yet, despite her high-profile image, Hutton remained refreshingly down-to-earth. "I'm not part of the cultural elite. I'm a down-home girl," she once said, and that attitude came across in her public persona. She laughed with photographers, spoke her mind in interviews, and treated people around her with an easy Southern warmth. In an industry fueled by fantasy, Lauren Hutton's authenticity made her stand out all the more. Perhaps nothing captures her adventurous spirit better than her famous love of motorcycles and travel. Far from the cliché of a pampered model, Hutton was an avid explorer. She spent her free time trekking through Africa and Asia, living out of a backpack, and even co-founding a motorcycle club at New York's Guggenheim Museum. She'd roar into photo shoots on her bike, helmet in hand, an image of freedom that added to her legend. In the year 2000, at age 56, Lauren survived a serious motorcycle crash in the Nevada desert. She was badly injured and spent many months recovering, but true to form, she bounced back with grit and grace. That brush with mortality only seemed to reinforce her zest for life. Lauren Hutton has always lived on her own terms, whether on the runway, in front of a movie camera, or on a winding road at top speed. Her mix of glamour, guts, and authenticity made her a hero to many, someone who showed that fashion is not just about looking good, but about embracing life with style. Look 4. Ageless Legacy. As the years went on, Lauren Hutton continued to redefine what a model could be, obliterating age stereotypes just as fearlessly as she had shattered beauty norms and business barriers. In the 1980s, after a glorious run, Hutton faced a challenge familiar to many women in entertainment: ageism. When she turned 40, her longtime client Revlon ended their contract, reportedly telling her that women over 40 don't buy makeup. It was a stinging reminder of the fashion world's youth obsession, but Lauren Hutton was never one to fade away quietly. Instead, she turned that moment into motivation. In the late 1980s, at a time when most models from her generation had long retired, Hutton staged a remarkable comeback. At age 47, an age when the industry would have practically considered a model ancient, she went back to work, on her own terms. She personally phoned up editors and designers she knew and urged them to feature women who, like her, were no longer in their 20s. Why shouldn't a woman in her 40s, 50s, or beyond be visible in fashion? Thanks to Hutton's tenacity, doors opened. She started landing covers and campaigns again, proudly representing the older woman and doing it with stunning style. Fans, including younger women, took notice. Hutton recalled young girls coming up to her on the street to thank her for inspiring their mothers, for showing that beauty doesn't evaporate at 30. In an era before terms like anti-aging were buzzwords, Lauren Hutton was walking the talk, proving by example that women could be vibrant, fashionable, and relevant at any age. Through the 90s and 2000s, Hutton's influence only grew more impactful. The fashion industry slowly began to embrace more diversity of age, and Lauren was at the forefront of this change. She even launched her own cosmetics line aimed at mature women, driven by the idea that women over 40 deserved products tailored to them, directly countering the outdated notion that had once ended her Revlon gig. And the industry that once hesitant to book her came full circle. Hutton continued to model occasionally, and when she did, it made headlines. In the 2010s, she achieved a poignant milestone. In 2017, at age 73, Lauren Hutton became the oldest woman ever to grace the cover of Vogue. Appearing on Vogue Italia's special Timeless issue, she posed radiantly alongside much younger models, holding her own with characteristic charm. The response was rapturous. Here was proof on a global stage that beauty truly transcends age. That same year, she walked the runway for Bottega Veneta and starred in a Calvin Klein underwear campaign. Yes, underwear, at 70+, directed by filmmaker Sofia Coppola. Far from being a novelty, Hutton was celebrated as bold, sensual, and elegant as ever, inspiring a new generation to reconsider what age means in a woman's life. Lauren Hutton's legacy in fashion is profound and enduring. She has shown that authenticity is the ultimate style, that women can write their own rules in business, and that aging is something to embrace, not fear. As a model, she broke barriers for pay and representation. As a public figure, she gave women permission to smile wide, gaps and all, to dress for themselves, and to pursue adventure. The industry today, with its beauty campaigns featuring septuagenarian models and its growing respect for models' individuality, bears the imprint of Hutton's influence. She once sagely noted that, "We have to be able to grow up. Our wrinkles are our medals of the passage of life." Those words capture the philosophy she has embodied. Lauren Hutton wears her medals with pride, and in doing so she taught the world that every stage of a woman's life can be stylish, meaningful, and worth celebrating. Her career, spanning over 5 decades, is a testament to reinvention and resilience. From fresh-faced cover girl to million-dollar deal maker to Hollywood actress to ageless style muse, Lauren Hutton did it all first, and she did it on her own terms. The final look. Lauren Hutton's story is a masterclass in staying true to oneself while changing the culture around her. She transformed the modeling industry by securing better pay and respect for models. She challenged narrow definitions of beauty by flaunting her unique features and insisting that style has no expiration date. And she bridged high fashion with real life, showing that a model can be an adventurer, an entrepreneur, an actress, a multi-dimensional woman. Hutton's legacy is woven into the fabric of fashion history. Every time we see an older model in a magazine, or a model who's celebrated for her individuality, we're seeing a bit of Lauren's impact. Her journey from a spunky Southern girl to an international fashion icon demonstrates how courage, self-belief, and passion can redefine an industry. If you enjoyed our deep dive into Lauren Hutton's legacy and impact, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And let us know in the comments which fashion icon you'd love to see featured next. Now stay curious and inspired. This has been the Fashion Memoir.